All right, here are your notes for polyatomic compounds. This is on page 50 of your notebook, page 50 of your notebook. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you are utilizing that polyatomic ion chart that's on the inner back cover. You're going to start to memorize these, but use that as a reference to start with. So when we ask you to provide the formula, the first thing you want to do is find the oxidation numbers, and then you want to write those oxidation numbers above the name. So for this first example, sodium, we know that that's our cation, that's our positive metal in this case, right? So sodium, we're going to look at the periodic table, and sodium we know is a +1. Acetate is not on the periodic table because that's a polyatomic ion, and so you're going to look at your polyatomic ion chart and see that acetate is a -1. So I put the charges up above. I am going to show you what those look like as elements as well with their charges, just so that you can see. You don't necessarily need to do this part. This is just so that you can practice crossing over your charges. If you are struggling with creating the formula correctly and your answers do not look like my key, then I recommend that you write it down here so that you can work on the crossing over. Remember, when you do your crossing over, you want to make sure that you cross that charge over to the outside of the parenthesis of that polyatomic ion. So when we cross that over, we're going to end up having this be our compound, sodium acetate is how you see that. All right, let's do number 3. So our charge on magnesium, we're going to look at the periodic table. We see that magnesium is in column 2, so magnesium is a +2. Chlorite, not IDE, right? Chlorite is a polyatomic ion, and you're going to look at your chart and identify that chlorite is a -1. Again, I'm going to write the ions out down here so that I can practice and make sure that I have them written correctly. So chlorite is ClO2, right? And then when we cross this over, remember we're going to cross that 2 over to the bottom subscript part of the outside of that parenthesis. We're going to cross that 1 over. Remember, we drop our 1s, and magnesium chlorite looks like this right here. Okay, so then we're going to bump over to here. The rest of this is going to be yours to practice, right? So then we're going to bump over here, and you're going to provide the name. So here we're going to look, right? Remember, you're just polyatomic compounds. You kind of treat them like ionics, where you name that metal, and then you're going to name the polyatomic. So here, on this first example, my metal would be calcium, and then I'm going to look up what OH is, and using my polyatomic ion chart, I see that OH is hydroxide, so the name of this guy right here is calcium hydroxide. All right, let's do one more. Let's do number 4. So here we see we've got Ba, and we're going to look at our chart, or just know this, right? Ba is barium, and then C2H3O2. Hey, look, it's right up over here. You're going to start recognizing these polyatomic ions. So this would be barium acetate. So you are going to practice all of page 50. You're going to check your work with the key. It will be up on the whiteboard. And then you are going to make 10 flashcards, or a minimum of 10 flashcards, and start practicing these polyatomic ion compounds. So if you want to just make flashcards of your polyatomics to start memorizing those, you can do that, or you can make the whole compound. All right, good luck.